Hello everyone, it's me Uncle John. Today I am going to read All Aboard Level 6, Chapter 6, The Lost City, page 48. Activity 1, look at the picture. What can you see through the windows? Activity 2, read and listen. Find the secret message. You've been very kind to us, said Megan. I've enjoyed talking to you, said Captain Clam. I haven't spoken to another person for 20 years. I've been looking for the lost city of Atlantis. I haven't found it yet. We are looking for something too, said Matt. It's a golden key. Megan looked sad. We have lost our boat. How are we going to find the key now? I would like to help you, said Captain Clam. But how will we know where to look? My grandma gave us a magic compass, Edward told him. It always points to the golden key. Then it's simple, said Captain Clam. We just follow the compass. If the key is in the ocean, we'll find it. Activity 3. Complete using had or hadn't. 과거 완료에 대해서 배워봅니다. Number 1, Megan said that Captain Clam had been very kind to them. Page 49, Activity 1. Read and listen to the story, then act it out. Number 1. We can't go any farther. We've reached the land. Thank you, Captain. You have helped us a lot. Number 2. Look, somebody has left a bracelet on the beach. It's beautiful. Let me see. This is incredible. This bracelet is from Atlantis. I have found a clue at last. The lost city is near this beach. I have waited 20 years for a clue. Thank you. You're welcome. Goodbye, Captain. Activity 2. Look at the box. He said that he was hungry. He told me that he was hungry. 자, 간접 화법을 배워봅니다. Captain Clam said or told them that they had reached land. 과거 완료와 간접 화법 reported speech with the past perfect. Page 50, vocabulary. Number 1, look at the pictures, complete using would or wouldn't. She warned him that he would break the glass. Number 2, she promised that she blank clean her room. Number 3, he knew that it blank rained. Number 4, they complained that it blank come down. Look at the red box. We are going to study reported speech with the direct speech. When we have a direct speech, we use quote. I'll help you, he promised her. When we use reported speech or indirect speech, he promised that, we use that clause, that he would help her. So will becomes would. I won, look, she told him. She told him that she wouldn't look. Here, that the word I becomes she. So in reported speech, we use she instead of I, okay? And will not becomes wouldn't. Activity 2, read and choose, then listen and sing. Atlantis. They all said that he was crazy. They all told him that he was wrong. But Captain Clam knew that he would find it. Yes, he believed it all along. He looked and looked for 20 years, and finally he saw the lost city of Atlantis on the ocean floor. They all warned him that it was dangerous. They all told him that he would fail. They said that he wouldn't find the city, that it was just a sailor's tale. He looked and looked for 20 years. Page 51, Literature. Activity 1, read and listen, choose the best title. A, the story of Plato. B, the beautiful island of Santorini. C, the legend of Atlantis. The legend of Atlantis. Number 1, more than 2,000 years ago, Plato wrote about a beautiful city. He said that it had disappeared under the ocean. He called the city Atlantis. This was the start of the legend of Atlantis. Plato said that the people of Atlantis had been rich and happy. There were amazing palaces, churches, and ports in the city. The houses had fountains with hot and cold water, and the walls were covered with silver and gold. Outside the city, farmers grew food for all the people. For 2,000 years, everybody thought that Atlantis was just a legend. They thought that Plato had invented the story. But then, in 1882, an American called Ignatius Donnelly wrote a book about Atlantis. He believed that a beautiful city really had disappeared under the ocean. Thousands of people read his book and wanted to find the lost city. A lot of people believed that Atlantis had been an island in Greece called Santorini. Santorini used to be much bigger than it is today, about 3,500 years ago. A huge volcano erupted and most of the island sank under the ocean. People have been looking for the lost city for more than 100 years, but nobody has ever found it. Activity 2, match. Activity 3, answer the questions. When did the legend of Atlantis begin? Where did the farmers of Atlantis grow food? Who wrote a book about Atlantis in 1882? Why is Santorini much smaller today than it used to be? Page 52. Activity 2, what did Austin's mom tell him to do? Number 1, wash your hands. She told him to wash his hand. Number 2, don't stand on the bed. She told him not to stand on the bed. Number 3, clean up your books on the table. Clean up put away all the shirts and clothes. Number 4, clean up the books on the table. Number 5, don't play with your soccer ball. Number 6, please get up. Time to wake up and get started. Activity 3, work in pairs. Follow the instructions. Tell your friend to stand up. Tell your friend to clap. Tell your friend to sing a song. Tell your friend not to look at you. Tell your friend to count from 90 to 100. Tell your friend not to smile. Pronunciation. 발음. We're going to practice pronunciation. Activity 4, listen and repeat. Be careful with the underlined words. One day, Allison started to cough and sneeze at school. She coughed all through her classes. After school, she bought some medicine. She brought it to school the next day. I hope that I brought enough, she thought. Page 53, read and complete. One afternoon, Jessica was sunbathing on the beach. The sun was very hot. Jessica's dad wondered that she would get sunburned. Jessica promised him that she wouldn't stay in the sun too long, but then Jessica fell asleep. After an hour, she woke up. She didn't feel sunburnt. She thought that she would be okay, but that evening, Jessica's face was very red. She complained that her friends would laugh at her. Her dad smiled. He knew that Jessica would be more careful in the future. Activity 2, read an answer, then write the story. Adam, Mrs. Morris will get mad. Hey, she won't see me, Kayla. Oh no, Mrs. Morris will find out. I'll call your mom next time. I won't do it again, I promise. Writing tip. Don't repeat names too much when you write. You should use pronoun instead. Page 54. Amazing Journeys. Number 2. Julian Kopk. In 1971, an airplane crashed in the Amazon jungle in Peru. Only one person survived the accident. She was a 17-year-old German girl called Julian Kopk. When the plane crashed, Julian fell through the trees and landed on the ground. She was unconscious for a day. When she woke up, she had a terrible headache and a bad cut on her arm, but she could walk. She stood up and started to look for help. Soon Julian realized that she was by herself in the jungle. She needed to find her way to a town or village. But how could she do that? She knew that the airplane had crashed in the middle of the largest jungle in the world. Fortunately, Julian knew something about the jungle. Her parents were scientists. They were studying the jungle in Peru, and that's where Julian grew up. She knew that the most important thing was to find fresh water. When Julian found a stream, she followed it in the direction that the water was moving. She knew that the stream would become a river and that there were often villages near the river. It wasn't an easy journey for her. She walked for days. She often had to walk or swim through dangerous water, full of crocodiles and stingrays. When the animals attacked her, she fought them with a stick. While Julian was trying to get out of the jungle, rescue planes were looking for survivors from the accident. After 10 days, they decided that was impossible. They knew that they would never find anybody. 2 days later, Julian Kopke walked out of the jungle, hungry and exhausted, but alive. The end.